Welcome back to Boring Gear Reviews. This week we've got the Old Blood Noise Endeavor's Dark Star. So this is not the first time we've reviewed Old Blood Noise pedals. You can check out another video right here. And this is also not the first time this pedal has been featured on this channel. But this is the first time we've done a full review of the Dark Star. And this is not a sponsored review. This is my personal pedal and it lives on my board right now. So what is it? It's pretty unique. It is a reverb and a delay of sorts, and it's also a bit crusher and does some kind of pitch pad type things. It's definitely not an easy pedal to categorize. It does a lot of stuff. So we've got three modes. We have a pitch mode, we have a delay mode, and then we have a crush mode. And then we have four controls here. We have a mix, which controls the blend of the wet signal. So, completely dry and 100% wet. We have a reverb, which controls the mix level of the built-in reverb in the pedal. And then with the reverb, if you max it out, you'll get a freeze effect for the first sound it hears once you hit that max level. And then we have control 1 and control 2, and these will vary depending on which mode you're in. So in the pitch mode, you have a reverb, and then with two octave controls. So you can go anywhere from an octave down and an octave up. In the delay setting, we have a control for the pitch time and the pitch feedback. And if you max it out, it will self-oscillate. And then in the crush setting, we have a reverb passing through a bit crusher. And the control 1 will control an octave up or down. And then control 2 will control the sample rate. So the more clockwise you turn it, the more crushed it is, and the more counterclockwise, the less crushed it is. In all these ones that have pitch settings, yes, you'll get an octave down all the way to an octave up, but you also get everything in between. So you can hit harmonies with this as well. We've got a soft click bypass switch, and then we have this hold switch as well. And this is a momentary function that is set to an internal switch inside the pedal. So if you open up the pedal, there's a kind of a large black switch, and when it's set to the right, it will control 1, and if it's set to the left, it'll control the reverb. So this can be used where, regardless of whatever one it's set at, it'll max out that setting. So if you want, you can press this and max out the reverb to get a freeze effect and then let it go to release. Or, if, let's say you have your pitch all the way down and you press it, it'll max out the octave and go, super high and then drop back down. You can also hook this up to an expression pedal or expression ramper, which I'm going to show both. And same thing, whatever the internal switch is set at, it will control that function. For today's demo, I'm going to be using my 1989 Orville by Gibson Es-335, and this has Tyson Tone Deacon pickups. And that will be going into my Apollo X6 and into the Softube JMP 2203 amp plugin. All right, so for this first clip, we're going to be using the delay setting. I'm going to have the mix pretty high, all the way about 3 o'clock, so about 75%. And then I'm going to have control 1 at 9, control 2 at noon, and then the reverb around 10 o'clock. I have the internal switch set to control 1. So that's, in this case, that's the delay time. And I'm going to use that with the Old Blood Noise expression ramper. And I'm basically going to set it so it's bouncing back and forth between the shortest delay time and then around like a 9 or 10 o'clock delay time. And what that's going to do is going to create a kind of a modulated, almost like a tape wow or flutter effect. Super cool. And so you're going to hear that turned on later. It'll be very noticeable. You'll hear it. And I'm also going to pair this with the Smallsound Bigsound Mini. I've had a lot of interest and requests to demo the Smallsound Bigsound F overdrive pedal, and I'm going to. And I'm also going to compare it with this. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated when that video comes out. And so for the Mini, I'm just going to set it as like a light overdrive. And on this setting, you're also going to hear some like kind of lo-fi artifacts as well. It's a really, really cool sound, and yeah, hope you enjoy. In this next clip, we're going to be using the delay setting again. However, this time I've set the internal switch to control the reverb. And I'm going to use an expression pedal to control that. So you're going to hear one chord freeze and ring out while I'm playing over it. And then I'll back off the expression pedal and crank it up again as I hit the next chord, so that freezes. And this allows me to have like a pad to play over. Once again, I'm using the Mini in a pretty similar setting. I'm just going to roll the bias back a little bit so it gets a little more kind of broken and crunchy sounding. And then at the end of the chain, I'm going to be running the Death by Audio Rooms. And I'm just going to be using this as a digital reverb to kind of fill in some of that space and keep the ambience going as I turn on and off that pad. All right, now we're going to switch to the pitch setting. I'm going to have one of the octaves set all the way down and then the other one a little past noon. The reverb will be around 10 o'clock and then the mix around 11. And then I'm going to run the Mini after that. I'm going to turn back the bias so it's going to get even more kind of broken and Velcro-y and gatey. And then I'm going to increase the gain a little bit. With this setting, it almost kind of sounds like there's this groaning reverb underneath my playing. This is one of the things I really enjoy about this pedal is this kind of very, I guess, somber and it just sounds kind of very big and lumbering in a way that's really fun and pleasing. In this last clip, we're going to switch to the crush setting, and I'm basically going to run it as just a reverb that's being bit crushed. So I'm not going to use the octave at all. I'm going to have it set in the middle, and then I'm going to turn the control 2, which controls the sample rate, to about 3 o'clock. So it's going to be very crushed. The mix will be about 9, and then I'm gonna use the reverb in here as well, so about 11 o'clock. The reverb really just adds kind of like a wash and expansiveness that it's not like it's gone when you turn it off because the entire pedal is doing some sort of reverb, but it just fills in a lot of that space. And once again, the mini will be set as like a kind of a light overdrive. This is a very unique way to use reverb. You're not using the bit crusher on your dry signal. It's just going through the reverb. It creates a really unique sound and kind of allows you to do things you wouldn't necessarily think of just because of how the pedal works. And there you have it. That was the Dark Star by Old Blood Noise Endeavors. I feel that with this pedal, I always end up playing different stuff. The pieces I played today, I feel like aren't normally how I use this pedal. It's just what came out of me today. I feel oftentimes when I use it, I really get heavily into the octave down pitch and then a very big kind of aggressive sounds. But for whatever reason, what it pulled out of me today was a little more gentle and still a bit somber, as I feel this reverb is. But some pedals are very unique in that they'll take you to places that you wouldn't normally go, and they kind of force you outside of your comfort zone and allow you to create in a space that if just given the choice, you wouldn't go there. And I'm really appreciative to pedals like that. I mean, that's kind of the thing about pedals, all pedals, is it forces you to look at your playing and your compositions in a different light. So anytime that can happen, I'm a big fan. And it's why pedals like these are on my board. So if you're interested in this, I highly recommend you check out Old Blood Noise and the Dark Star. Links for everything will be in the description below. And lastly, I want to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed and has been commenting and messaging me. You've made this process so fun and exciting, and I'm really, really happy to be doing it. My goal for the year, this channel only started 7 weeks ago, and my only goal was that I wanted to hit 100 subscribers before the year was out. And I kind of thought that it's probably not going to happen, but I would like that to happen. That would be like a cool way to start this channel at the end of the year. And as of recording this video, we're at 155. So way over what I had expected. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for that. It's really cool and exciting. I have a lot more planned for the new year starting next week. And then also I didn't want to do like a a wrapping up of the year, like my favorite pedals. I didn't want to do that. So what I think I might do is release another video before the new year, which is just all of the guitar clip, the playing from all of my videos in one long video. So I won't be talking in it. I'll just let the guitar part sit there and I'll label what pedals are where. I don't know. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. Comment below. Regardless, thank you all so much for subscribing, for hitting that notification bell, and for all your messages. I really love talking with you guys about this stuff and nerding out over gear. And some of you have given me really cool ideas to try with pedals I have, or recommendations for pedals I should look into. So thank you for that. And until next time, please be safe and have a happy and healthy new year. Peace.